Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're taking a look at a new gun today. One that should have been delivered a while ago, but it takes these mags. Can you guess what it is? These are from the Vorsk VMP-1. I covered the VMP-1. It was very surprising how it performed, but you know, in terms of aesthetics and everything like that, it was probably one of the most ugliest guns I've ever come across, but it did work very well. These are the short mags from it. Now, I don't have my old, the long mags that I bought. I think I bought like 4 or 5 for the VMP-1. Don't have them anymore because I actually sold the VMP-1, being the fact that I'll never use it because if I take an MP9, I'll be using the KBBR MP9. So they recently released, which it seems like this gun's been coming for like 3 years. You keep seeing like bits about it, but then the release just never came. But they've finally released. This was actually ordered in Feb. It was shipped the day after it was ordered, and the problem was it went to UPS, and UPS have just had it for like 2 weeks. So I don't know what UPS are doing. They said there was a problem with the postcode on the address, and then they said that had been solved, and 2 weeks later they still got it. I put in a complaint with them, and it turned up the following day. So it is what it is. Now, I won't be able to get this all the way on the bench, but this is the VMP-2M. So this is the shortest one that they do. And the reason I went for this one is I just didn't really like the look of the other 2 models. And I plan to change this about anyway, so it really doesn't matter how it comes out the box. So the VMP-2M. I bought this, so I got the gun. I already had some short mags, which the reason that I'm buying short mags for this thing will be apparent later on. I ordered an extra 2 short mags, so I got 4 short mags, and then there's a long mag that comes in with it. And you know, well, why don't you buy a long mag? You know, the short mag's are useless. Well, if you think that's fine. If you want to use long mags, I'll just use my MP9 mags. That's as simple as it is. I bought some of these little covers for the short mags. I bought 2. No, I bought 4. They were listed as like just short mag, like it says on here, VMP-2 magazine cover short, black. That's all it said. So I ordered 4. Little did I know, they come in packs of 2, which when I ordered it, it didn't say that. There's 3. What did I do with the other one? I did have 4. So it didn't actually say that they come in packs of 2. Otherwise, I'd have just ordered 2. There it is. Just dropped on the floor. So I've got 8 of these things, and I don't need them. But you know, maybe if I get some short mags in future, then I've got plenty of these covers. So these covers, it's very obvious what they are and what they do. I'll tell you what, if they come on these mags now, I'm going to lose my mind. But you basically take it. They had them on the long mags. When I had the VMP-1, I didn't really bother with the covers because it really didn't matter. But these are like a half cover because the setup in the VMP-2 is slightly different to the VMP-1, where only a certain amount of the magazine sticks in compared, because like if you put these in the VMP-1, the whole magazine went in, if that makes sense. So those are 2 mags I had before. We've got 2 new mags. We'll look at that in a moment. I also bought, because the 2MD model is like a dual model, so it fires at 1 joule and it does semi and full on the switch. I also ordered, in case I decide to do a semi-only build or have it the possibility of me just putting in a different lower and having it semi-only. I'm slowing my words now. So I bought the VMP-2 Trigger Group. It comes as a complete unit, semi-only. One in the gun does both. This one does semi-only, so I've got the choice of doing it there. And the parts. One thing I'll say about New Problem Vorsk with the VMP-1 and the VMP-2, spare parts and accessories are very, very affordable. So you know, that's very good. Now, I also ordered a bunch of these different powered nozzles, and this is how they came loose. So there's no packaging on them. Not that it really matters, but it'd be nice if it was in like a little bag or something just to protect it from dust and dirt during shipping. So I've got different nozzles there. Can't remember which one's which. It would have been nice for them to be packaged and labelled. So I'm going to have to go away before we play about with these and look up what power they are, because, you know, they've just come like that. So I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory if you look at the end, which one's more powerful and which one's not. So I'm guessing this is the lowest powered. You've got the blue ones, I think, that are in the gun as standard. This one's more, and then that one's the highest. But I'll have to check because they do have dual readouts on the product descriptions. So let's get this thing out of the box because it's been 5 minutes and we haven't even seen it yet. So it's very similar packaging, or identical packaging to the VMP-1. Manual, little laminated plastic card, very self-explanatory, all that stuff. With the VMP-2, it's a little bit different how you adjust the hop, so you actually have a hop wheel on the top there, like a KCO2. This is very much like if a KCO2 and an MP9 had a baby, this is what they'd get. So in the box with the VMP-2M, you get the long mag with the casing on there, which does give it a nice feel. We also get a patch, VMP-2M patch, if you're bothered about that. And we get some spares, like we did in the VMP-1. We also get the charging handle, which isn't installed, so we will need that. So we get the charging handle to install. We get some spare seals and a nozzle. I'm not sure if this is what's in there already. I think usually they just send you a spare just in case. And these parts, the spare parts, are very affordable. So hats off to them for that. We'll take that out. We'll pull the VMP-2 out. And we'll get rid of this box and get it out of the way. So loads of people was asking me if I'd look at this gun, and originally I said to them I am not interested at all, because just like the VMP-1, and I'm sorry Vorsk, I know the VMP-1, I did give it credit that it was a pretty solid little SMG. The VMP-1 was ugly, and I hate to break it to you, but the VMP-2 is ugly as well. In a world where you've got full design, freedom, and you can make it like it, it's just they've done some really nice bits, some really nice design, like the trigger mech and everything like that being all contained in there is not an easy thing to do for your average airsofter. But then it's just like, it's very blocky. It's almost like Duplo to Lego, you know what I mean? But I'll try and make that the last time that I call it ugly, but it is goddamn ugly. The first thing you'll notice if you get your VMP-2 is you'll notice that the rail is completely polymer. It's the type of plastic that if you've ever held like a budget sports line AEG from some brands where you get that sort of mottled effect plastic, that's what this rail is. It's flexible, of course. I don't know if that's the barrel flexing or the rail flexing, but yeah, I was hoping, well, I didn't know it was going to be plastic, but as soon as I found out it was plastic, I was like, oh, really? We put the bag in, and that's what the VMP-2M looks like. Just about fits in shot here. So even the short model is quite long. You can obviously make it longer with the stock. The fitment on the stock is something to be desired. It's very rattly. There are plenty of QD points for slings. This one I understand if you want to use a single point sling. The ones at the back I understand. I don't understand this one here. It's almost like too many QD points. So on the stock there's 6 QD points, which I think is just a bit excessive. Maybe they found people that wanted certain points, which, better to have it and not need it than to need not have it. But let's face it, guys, you know me, that stock is going to be going bye-bye. This looks to me like it's just a simple screw-in job. And just simple as that, Nothing else retaining that in the gun itself. Looking at the nozzle, it is an identical nozzle to the one that's in the box. So you've got a little short bolt. Don't expect mass amounts of blowback on this. And it takes MP9 mags, so kind of one thing I hated about the KCO2 throughout the years, and the KCO2 has been about for a while now, and this is very heavily inspired by the KCO2, I don't care what you say. This is basically a modified KCO2 to fit with a different system. One thing that I hated about the KCO2 was the magazines. The magazines were a pain in the arse. It was actually funny because I had a thing pop up on Facebook yesterday, which was 13 years ago. It was like a memory thing that pops up on Facebook. And that memory post that popped up on my Facebook feed yesterday was basically, I have just had a KCO2 magazine explode. And I remember vividly being in my room, and just big bang and opening the cabinet where all the guns were, and there was a KCO2 in multiple pieces. Didn't really cause any damage, but my God, it scared the crap out of me. And it's just weird that popped up yesterday. So yeah, wasn't a fan of the KCO2 mags, and many companies have done iterations of mags. You can get HPA adapters, but it was always just a pain in the arse. So taking this kind of platform and just keeping it with the VMP system that they do is kind of genius. But how will this thing compare? So one thing I want to show you first, which I always check guns out the box, just quickly take them out the box before I review them, just make sure everything's there. And one thing I will say about this VMP-2, hopefully it comes across on camera, I really like the trigger. They've done a good job designing that trigger. For me personally, it's very comfy. And nice brake on it. Really nice reset. A little bit of travel, but the trigger on it so far feels like it's on point. You've got, I'm probably skipping over a load of features here, but you know, it feels like an aluminium barrel. The flash hider is polymer. The rail's polymer. The receiver is metal. The lower trigger group, or whatever you want to call it, trigger assembly, is metal. Stock tube's metal. Stock is plastic. The receiver section here is plastic. You've got iron sights that kind of remind me of the ASG Scorpion Evo. They're going to be coming off because they're not great. And the weirdest choice I think they went with, they've put a AR grip on that takes 1911 grip panels, and this is such a backwards choice. I just never understood it. It's going to be one of the first things I change. Now, it isn't incredibly uncomfortable, but if you think of this from a manufacturing point of view, you've got to injection mold that centerpiece. You've got to injection mold the 2 grip panels. You've also got to supply the screw that screws this to the receiver and the screws, 4 of, to put the grip panels on. So that is a very much more expensive way to make a grip than just making an AR grip. Most of which people are just going to pull off. And I think you guys know I'm going to have to modify a Di-Frico grip to go on this, because you've got the tang at the back, so I'm going to have to lop that off to get it on here. However, let's carry on with this review, otherwise we're going to be here all night, aren't we? So I'm just trying to cover all my bases. So let's gas the mag up here. We'll make sure they get plenty of propane in there. And we'll gas up these short mags as well. This one seals a little bit better. And that one. Let's try the long one again. No, it does leak. Here's what it is. Right. We've got some mags gassed up so we can have a play with it. I've gone with short mags because I want it to be like that. I want it to be out the way, because my plans for this, my plans when I bought it were, I really wasn't interested in it, but my plans were get it, set it to semi, have it at like 1.5 joules or whatever the limit is for the site that I take it to. And just have the short mags so I can go prone with it, because let's face it, this mag, you ain't going prone with that. It sticks out far too much. But then having the ability to swap the nozzle to a 1 joule nozzle, slap on the full auto trigger group, and just have some fun, and maybe have a short front end and a long front end. So the controls, as you'll see on this trigger group, you've got 3 settings. In the middle, safe, semi, and auto. The mag release is a little bit strange. Now, what I did notice playing with this was it makes a lot of sense to come up to get the mag and push the thumb release like so. Very comfortable and easy to do so. You ain't going to be doing that if you're a lefty. What I did find with the paddle is you have to stretch your hand off the grip so much that if I do it without moving my grip, I can't actually pull the mag out. I have to stretch my hand off the grip and then it will release. So I won't be using that paddle at all. What they could have done is made this paddle a little bit longer, or just extend it a little bit like this so you can push it. Maybe that's a part we need to design and offer, because currently, to me, I mean, yeah, you could, if you're a lefty, what you could do is you could come up from the bottom like that. But, you know, if you want to be pulling a magazine out of your gear and drop the mag, I can't do it unless I break my grip and then let it off. So not a fan of that paddle at all. It's just, you could just slightly redesign it and it'd be spot on. So we'll do a quick dry fire with a short mag just to see what's going on. You do have bolt releases. So let's say you've put a fresh mag in, you can put what they call power stroking it just by pulling the charging handle back. Or you've got bolt releases on both sides. So we'll try this on semi and auto. Short mags don't like auto, but it's oh dear. There's zero blowback or felt airsoft recoil. I'm not going to call it recoil, but we can also try real quick an MP9 mag, because luckily I have a bunch of MP9 mags. So let me grab one out the stock of, no, that's Archwick, no, Archwick. Aha! We have an MP9 mag, so let's give this a go. Doesn't look bad at all, really, does it? Nice and slim. Runs a lot better on a KBBR MP9 mag, but we won't go there. Right, we'll just top these back up with gas and we'll test the power. Weird that, isn't it, that the mags just seem inferior to the KBBR ones. The long one, oh, there we go, is it sealing? Sealed briefly there. But let's get to it. So we need some 0.3 gram BBs. We need a speed loader. We're going to test it with some 0.3s just because that's the usual weight that we use. I don't see the point in testing it on 0.2s because I would have no intention of ever using this gun on 0.2 gram BBs. I only really use 0.3s and above, unless you're at CQB site where you have to use 2.5s, which we won't go into that. So let's stack these properly. Make sure, strip one out so we don't damage the nozzle. And we'll put some in the long mag as well. I'm guessing that these mags aren't going to like work every round, but we'll see. Might be a case of we find that the short mags are just completely useless and we have to use long mags anyway. Right, 0.3 gram BBs, some propane, 0.3 grams set on the chrono. We'll try the short mag first. No idea where the hop's set. We'll see if it drops out the barrel. No, seems to be okay. So 0.3 gram BB, short mag, 1.136 joules, 1 joule, 1 joule. Seems a bit punchy now. Maybe we just had to loosen the mags up a little bit. 1 joule. Just coming under now. 0.9. I'm just going to read it out to you now. 0.98, 0.926, 0.906, 0.889, 0.878. So we're halfway through the mag, and we're already dropping about 0.2 of a joule. 0.969, 0.87, 0.84, 0.81, 0.6 was the last shot. Some of it I don't think it picked up on. It said he only had 15 rounds in there, which was weird. Right, big mag. It's just, there's no thrills to that at all. It's dull as anything. 1.141 joules. 1.114. 1.062. 1.056. We're just going to say 1 joule instead of me doing the decimal. So 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule. A little bit of variance, but not much. 1 joule. Oh, that's dead on a joule. Look at that. It's the first time I've seen that before. So we're out at about a joule. The long mag is more stable than the short mag. And it did seem to feed, so we're okay there. I think this is going to be one of them guns that you use on semi and not full auto, but I will try and test it anyway. I'm not going to fill this mag up, we'll just put a bunch in. We can test this short mag. I thought these were meant to be 20 rounds. It didn't. I think it said 16 on the chrono. So, hope you're getting something out of this video already. As always, you can put suggestions down in the comments below for videos that you want to see on this platform. And 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. Meant to be a 20 round mag, but you can only get 19 rounds in. It's a bit of a cop out, isn't it? So we'll let's try a bit of a burst. Seemed to work okay actually, that was surprising. It might just be a case of these mags. I mean, those mags aren't new. Those are ones I had with the VMP-1. But it could just be a case of we need to run this in a little bit. Could be a bit sticky out the box. It could be lubed up not very well from the factory. Let's give this a go. So we're on to the long mag. Semi-auto. Do some bursts. It is nice and rapid. It struggled a little bit there, but we got through the whole mag, so credit where credit is due. And much like a KCO2, this is your hot wheel. Nice clicky wheel. Hopefully that's a top dead centre. Airsoft companies, stop calling your hops top dead centre unless they're a top dead centre like this. So many companies now are saying top dead centre and it's got a lever that comes from over here. Top dead centre means you've got a screw or a wheel with a screw like this that goes directly onto the hop. Anything other than that It's not a TDC. Just stop it. And this seems to be a proper TDC. So very surprising, really. It's a cheap gun. These retail for like $249, I think. Polymer handguard, it's one of them. We're going to have to change it anyway. They've kind of like loosely ripped off a Geisley and then made it their own. It's got M-lock. I wouldn't trust any type of device on this that needs to hold 0, like pet boxes or anything like that. You do have plenty of real estate at the top here. Plenty here to get an optic on it. If you're using like a short dot or an LPVO, you might struggle to mount it here, but if you've got a good cantilever mount, you should be okay. And I went with the black just because I thought, well, if I do actually build this into something that I'm going to use, I'm probably going to colour it up anyway. Camo it, Cerakote it, who knows. So what do you think of the VMP-2? I might have called it VMP-1 through the video. If I have, I apologise. I do kind of like it with the short mags. Just as a wrap up, to wrap this video up, things I like. It takes MP9 mags. We can use it with, you know, Vorsk mags, or we can use it with GBBR mags. And just before we go, let's see how it runs on this case. I haven't gassed this mag, just as a disclaimer. I haven't put any gas in this. I literally pulled it out of the box. So if you've got a bunch of MP9 mags, you can run it. Seems to run better on that MP9 mag, but if you've got the mags already, it's good. If you've got a VMP-1, you've got mags with it, you don't have to splurge on mags. You know, the backwards compatibility in their VMP lineup makes sense. It's very, you know, well thought out. I don't like the plastic handguard and how cheap some of this stuff is, but you are making a gun to a cost, so you can't expect a gun to have a QC of a £600 GBBR for 250. It just doesn't work that way. I'm hoping that when we pull this apart, we see some good things rather than bad things. A few people in Discord have pointed out to me that these actually have a 2-barrel system, like the WE pistols. We used to get the extra barrel section with a thread on. It came with a suppressor. So what I think they've done in production is they've basically built the hop and the inner barrel to a length that's all the same like this, and then for the different versions they just thread on a barrel, and that makes no sense to me at all. It's kind of a similar thing with the grip. Why make something out of more components that's going to cost more money when it just doesn't make sense? They would have just been better having a one-piece inner barrel, and a lot of people that I've seen have been having accuracy issues with this and consistency issues, and that barrel join with the 2 barrels that screw together is not going to give you any favours whatsoever. So that's going to have to come out. So we'll leave it there for video 1, which I'm going to try and get uploaded tonight. We're on Monday the 10th. So hopefully I can get downstairs and get this uploaded and you'll be able to see it. And further videos we'll do throughout the week. Let me know what you think about the VMP-2 from Vorsk and Nuprol. And yeah, we'll see how this thing goes. We'll build it out to something that's usable. We'll mess about with bits and pieces. I do like the trigger. Don't like that paddle mag release. There's no blowback or recoil action to this. It's very dull, like a KCO2. The KCO2s were very dull as well. If you want a good experience with a GBBR, KCO2s, it's just not going to be the one for you. That being said, we'll wrap it up there. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Get on the Jaeger Precision Discord. The link is in the description below, where you can get involved with the Jaeger community. And there's also a video requests tab in the Jaeger Precision Discord. You go in there, put in your video requests. If it's something I can do, I'll add it to the queue and get it done. Thanks as always, and from me and Bench, we'll see you in the next one.